This show is sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. Visit betterhelp.com/Padilla because sometimes existing is exhausting.
My name's Anthony Padilla, and I spent a day with Carmen and Lupita to uncover the truth about coming of age as conjoined twins. What complications does sharing half a body present when, for instance, one sister wants to be intimately involved with her boyfriend and the other has absolutely no interest? And what would happen if one of them were to fall ill, or if one of them were to die? By the end of this video, we'll find out if being attached at the hip has encouraged them to perfectly mesh into each other's yin and yang, or if their unique struggles have forced them to feel collectively isolated from society. Hello,
hey.
Carmen Lupita. I was like, this just happened.
It just works, you know?
It's been 2 years since we last had you on. What was the reaction to that video?
A lot of, you know Anthony Padilla?
And then you said through a screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you could say yes.
Yeah.
Since we last talked, you've become insanely popular on social media, enough for tabloids to write gossip articles about you.
That I'm trying to break up Carmen and her boyfriend's relationship, which I am, but not the point.
So it's true.
No.
Let's address the controversy now. You're going to break them up.
I am not the third wheel.
You're the second wheel. He's the third wheel.
No, I'm the life of the party.
We would like to make an official declaration. Lupita is the life of the party.
I said it.
They said that you needed to get surgery to be separated and that one of you refused.
They took it and ran with it and left nothing factual in it.
Where did that even come from?
The surgery that they were talking about was actually back surgery that they were thinking about giving her.
I got scoliosis. They just didn't know how to do the anesthesia, and they're like, not right now. You're young and walking, and once you're not able to walk, we'll do that.
Are you progressively heading toward not being able to walk?
Not right now.
Mostly towards when we get to like our 40s and 50s.
So that's for future Carmen Lupita.
That just sounds like a problem for them.
They also said that you guys are a hoax.
We just are faking it, I guess.
Yeah, we actually have strange contraptions set up here.
Wires, you know, you just can't see it. You can't see it, but it's there.
What do you think is the biggest misconception about you?
A lot of people assume because we are conjoined twins, we're mentally handicapped as well. Even from teachers, they'll talk to us like a small child, or
Really?
they'll underestimate our mental capacity type of thing.
Do you get recognized a lot in public?
Now I do. A couple of days before Christmas, we went to New York, and we were waiting for our friend. A bunch of kids, maybe 20 of them, just swarmed us, and I was like, hello?
A zombie horde surrounds you, pictures are taken, and then you're just like, what the f just happened?
Yeah, pretty much.
Do people treat you like you are some kind of a sideshow attraction?
Remember the rodeo?
Oh my God, yeah. There's a rodeo that happens every Father's Day weekend. There was a tent. It said like sideshow. And we get to the end of it and we just hear some guy just go, oh my God, are they part of it too?
Did you expect that to?
No, because we were like, we're about to leave and we're like, oh, okay. It shows how ignorant humanity can be, but that's not obviously everybody. People are just obviously curious, but it all depends on how you ask and approach. And
Was any part of you prepared for the kind of attention that the internet has brought you?
People already took pictures of us, like, without our permission anyways, and people would give us money for no reason.
Wait, who would give you money?
certain religious people
Oh.
sometimes would feel bad for us, thinking that we need to save up for the surgery.
Oh.
So they would be like, this is a donation for the surgery. And we went, what surgery?
What do you think is the most annoying question that you get most frequently?
Like, I can understand the whole, like, who controls the legs and the walking. We started physical therapy when we were about 6 months old, and then we didn't stop until we were about 17 to coordinate the walking and balance. Apparently, we share the same face because, like, when she got her nose pierced, they were like, if she gets her nose pierced, do you feel it? And I'm like, we don't share a face.
Like, I don't feel this.
Okay.
Did you feel that?
Yeah.
Is that common?
That's our shtick.
It's her shtick to hit you in the face?
And then just be like, I feel nothing. That's the prove a point. Starting off at like 9, 10, people would ask us like the sexual questions, stuff about our no-no squares.
Are people like, oh, we're just curious?
A lot. It's just, they justify their rudeness or their lack of human decency with, oh, well, you can't just blame us, we're curious. And I'm like, fair enough, I guess.
Do you welcome people asking questions, or is it like, don't ask?
Depends on the situation. I guess there's just time and a place. And some people like to disregard that.
When you were born, you were told that you had 3 days to live. Or no, you weren't told. Your parents were
Yep,
told.
we
You
were
could
told.
not comprehend.
We were told we have 3
You're
days
like,
to live.
yes, okay.
Okay, fair enough.
Count down the days. Bucket list will be completed before then. Thank you. Why did they say 3 days?
Most conjoined twins don't really live past a week. It depends on like how many organs you share, how many you don't, if you share like a circulatory system, stuff like that.
Why do you think you guys have been fine for so long?
Pure spite.
You're living out of spite?
Yeah.
Who are you spiting?
Everyone.
You, everybody!
Okay, I didn't say that.
Do you still deal with a lot of health complications?
We used to have a lot more like digestive issues. We have like endometriosis. So that's how we found out the hard way that like we can like both feel the pain. But we're on like certain medications. A lot of things have been regulated because we are older.
Sorry, I'm noticing that you're counting Carmen's
Yeah,
fingers.
and then she also has anxiety, so she'll pick at my fingernails.
I have a
You're pulling her ring on.
What's an anxiety ring?
Are you just used to her just playing with your fingers all the time?
You'll see her like just grabbing my hand and just doing that. A lot of things is
so
just instinct at this point.
Yeah. You're not like Home Alone blueprint trying to figure out how the you're gonna make pancakes today. You just walk in the kitchen and figure out what needs to get done.
This is the only life we've ever known. This is like what we've always known.
A lot of people have questions about how you can drive a heavy piece of machinery.
I just pretty much do everything like driving wise. I'm allowed to drive with one arm. Because if I do technically both arms, I'm afraid I'm going to hit her in the face.
You're not afraid, you've done it before.
That's true. I do the steering wheel, I do the pedal, brake, gas.
I do the turn signals.
You get the fun job.
I feel useful. That's the only reason why I do it.
One question that I received a lot on the last video was, what would happen if one of you were to fall ill or if one of you were to die? Is that something that you've ever talked about before? Before we continue learning about the world of Carmen and Lupita.
I was a mute for 8 years.
So you chose not to talk for 8 years, is that true?
I didn't talk at all.
I'd like to point you toward the previous episode that we did together. I spent a day with Conjoined Twins, which you can find here or on the uncensored podcast version of the show. And if you want to directly support this series, every penny of profit from my new U2's figure will be going directly back into improving this show. Links for all of that are down below. And while you're here, I'd also like to thank our sponsor, BetterHelp, for their continued partnership. If you've been keeping up with this series, you know that therapy has been really beneficial in shaping who I am today by allowing me to have empathy for my younger self and therefore understand who I am today more. But therapy can be customized to whatever's right for you and can be useful in providing tools to help with motivation or feelings of depression, anxiety, stress, insecurity, or whatever else you might need. BetterHelp has been continuing to improve throughout the years and screens all their therapists to ensure that they have experience and that they're certified and licensed, and provides customized therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone or even speak over the phone if that's not something that you're comfortable with. As many of you have probably found out by now, therapy can be expensive, and the price of finding a therapist that you like and connect with can be overwhelming, which is why BetterHelp offers a more affordable alternative to in-person therapy, where you can start communicating with your therapist in less than 48 hours. So thank you to BetterHelp, who are giving I Spent a Day with viewers and listeners 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/Padilla. That's betterhelp.com/Padilla. Now, back to the world of Carmen and Lupita.
The death thing, we're not dead, so I don't really know.
Shit, I don't know.
You'd have to find out the hard way.
We're gonna find out. When we were about 14, 15, I got a cold. It ended up being pneumonia, like turning into pneumonia for her, but like I got past it after maybe about almost a week, but she was still going through it.
I was in the hospital for 15 days.
So you were in the hospital too, because she was sick, even though you were feeling fine.
No, I was just chilling at home, you know?
In what ways are you different?
I mean, we share most of the same friends. She's a bit more of a picky eater than I am.
I was a mute for 8 years.
So you chose not to talk for 8 years, is that true?
In school and stuff,
Yeah.
I didn't talk at all.
Would you talk for her?
Pretty much.
My mom said if I had nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. So I
So
didn't
you
speak
literally...
for 8 years.
You knew that she talked, right? Or Lupita, were you just not talking to Carmen at all the entire time?
No, I just whispered in her ear what I wanted to say.
She'd be the vessel for your words.
Yeah.
What was that like for you to be her mouth?
I mean, from a very young age, I would kind of take care of both of us. She had writing problems, so I'd have to kind of do both my work and then just be a scribe for her.
When was the last time you guys had an argument?
When we were little, we learned if we team up, we can go against her older sister and bully her.
Ah, this older sister?
That older sister.
You like getting bullied over there, older sister?
No.
No.
I don't.
You're not getting bullied over there, older sister? No. 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 Do you ever get tired of being addressed as a packaged unit?
I mean, it can be dehumanizing at times when it's actual, like, direct conversation. People that have known us for years, like, if you kind of know us, you can refer to us as our names. We are still two separate people.
Is it difficult ever for you guys to decide on the same top, the same fashion style?
No, she chooses everything.
You're the personal stylist?
If I let Carmen do it, it's, oh no.
What would it look like?
A lot of sweatpants and sweatshirts. Who cares about fashion when it's cold?
One of you is dating a person.
Yeah.
Just one of you, though.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a huge difference.
He's a nerd and he's annoying. As long as Carmen's happy, I don't really care.
Did you know that Carmen was, you know, starting something with someone?
Yeah.
How'd you feel about that?
If I wasn't comfortable, she would have broken up with him.
If she wasn't, we weren't all in agreement of what the situation is, I wouldn't be dating him in the first place.
What was that like, meeting him and then like you being there, even though you know that they're interested in one another?
It was super awkward. I'm not gonna lie.
So like my limits of dating was mostly just talking to people and situationships.
Is that what it's called?
When you're talking before like the actual.
That's the situation.
Oh God, you are old.
I am old. What was that like meeting him in person? You said awkward.
I'm aromantic and asexual, so I don't really feel anything.
The boundaries in your relationship, your romantic relationship, have evolved with you. Is that a constant check-in? Are you like, Lupita, is this cool with you?
We thought at first it was more of convenience sake. She was just trying to like adapt for us. Looking back, no, since we were little, she's like, I don't have any interest in anybody. She's not a big fan of like physical touch.
I have personal space issues, and I understand why.
Because you've had, because
Wow.
so it's Carmen's fault.
Yeah.
Is there a line that you draw?
If he touches me, I'll punch him.
Anything that's shared is off limits? Here down?
Here down.
Grid line.
Grid line. What is that like being around them when they are trying to have more intimate time?
I disassociate or go on my phone.
You didn't see her just disassociate earlier?
You mean when she was blindly looking up into the stars?
Yeah.
Marriage and kids and stuff like that. Like, is that even on the table at all?
The easiest way I can put it, can't have kids, don't want kids, have a lot of unresolved mental health issues that we don't want to pass down to someone else that doesn't deserve it. Marriage, we've only been dating a year.
Lupita, would you ever let that happen?
I don't care.
Her plan is bum off of me until she can't, like she can't.
Like a leech.
No. Like a tumor. Get it right.
Tell me about how you became famous on TikTok.
I actually don't know. I was making fun of them, and that's how I became famous.
You talk a lot about how Lupita is the one that's running the page. Does that mean that you don't want anything to do with social media?
I just let her do her thing. I'm not a big fan of like the actual creating part. If she wants me to do something, I'll do it, but like that's pretty much it.
Do you get a lot of comments about the fact that you're conjoined?
I don't know why they feel the need to tell us like this kind of thing, but they'd be like, if I were conjoined, I'd want to unalive myself. And I'm like, all right, cool.
I think that brings up a really interesting point. It's the expectation for something to be different that makes someone really unhappy with something. You never had an expectation that life would be different, and therefore, how could you ever be unhappy that it was the way that it is for you? Someone else can look in from the outside, say, I know the way that I expect life to be because I've lived life, by myself as an individual person, and I can compare and say, oh, that would be a little bit more difficult. I could never handle that.
I mean, life is difficult for everybody. It just depends on like what specific obstacles are in your way.
Life sucks. It's meaningless, but you have to put meaning to it.
What is the meaning that you put on life?
I'm funny, and I'm better than everybody else.
And you live it in spite.
Yes.
Your TikTok page at the top says, not a Q&A account. If you want to know more, go look at our YouTube, Google it, or stay wondering. And that's because you're like, you don't want to put that much time and energy into answering every single person's question.
It's a repetition, of each question. It's really annoying.
They still think that we have to answer them because we're the conjoined twins. A lot of people don't like it that we we've set those boundaries and we're keeping to them, but we're not bubbly and just eager to answer every and all questions you may have, even if they're stupid, even if they're kind of dumb.
You're the filter, Carmen?
Yeah.
Do you hope to take your TikTok career further? Do you hope to be entertainers?
Our deal was the traffic that goes from TikTok, save up enough to kind of just go off grid after a while. We don't want to do YouTube and and everything like that forever.
Good, get out while you can. It's been far too long for some of us.
You're in too deep.
Do people often assume that you both want to do the same exact thing with your lives?
I mean, we do relatively want to do the same things. Since we were about 3 or 4, we've always wanted to work with animals. She's gonna go back for vet assistant, and I'm currently gonna go for vet tech.
And that just came naturally, that you both were attracted to working with animals?
We grew up with our godmother, and she owned a goat farm. We really started that little push of we wanted to be more like vet techs.
You have your butcher's license.
I also have my butcher's license, which is not the point.
You get to experience bringing life into this world and ending it.
I'm gonna pick that one though.
Bringing
the life,
into
yeah. That one.
Let it go. All right, you got 5 seconds to shout out or promote anything you want directly into camera. Go.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Carmen Lupita.
Don't subscribe.
Don't subscribe. You will regret
That
it.
is reverse psychology.
That's
so
right.
that means you're gonna do it, right?
That's wrong.
Yeah, that's what it means.
That's wrong means that you're right. Well, there you have it. I spent a day with Carmen and Lupita, and I find it incredibly inspiring how they've refused to allow the outside world to hinder their sense of self. And it makes me wonder, why do we assume anyone born different than us is having a negative experience? With statements like, I'd kill myself if I were conjoined, are we actually just projecting our own insecurities and fears? Or do we have so much more to learn from others than our assumptions might lead us to believe?
Yeah, no, we call our birthday our extraction day.
Yeah, because technically,
We weren't born.
you were never born.
don't exist. This is all an illusion.
You were never born.
We're John Cena. You can't see me.
A lot of people were never born, if you really think about it. I wonder if John Cena was born.
Well, you still can't see him. How are you supposed to know and ask him?
I'll try.
Okay,
I got
fair
hookups
enough.
with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Maybe he knows him. Well, and I also have hookups with Fred. John Cena was in the Fred movie, so maybe through a roundabout way I could ask Fred to ask John Cena, and I'll also ask Stone Cold Steve Austin, who was in Smosh the movie, to ask from a different angle so that he'll know that there's multiple different people trying to get in contact because they both want me to have my question answered. Was John Cena born?